Hey, beautiful people, once again, it is a pleasure to sit with you. Don't hide your scars. Many of us that are healers, mystics, seers, and medicine folk have experienced deep pain, and through gritty alchemy, transforming it into wisdom and gifts for ourselves and others. And when we find safety within the chaos, we fully awaken. You know, as we look out into the world, there is so much happening, there is so much moving, there is so much chaos unraveling. The world is unraveling, and there's some really strange, odd, surreal things happening right in front of us. But when we find safety within that chaos, we fully awaken, and then we discover the depth and magnitude of our light. In a world that is driven and driving, intentionally driving us into freeze, fight and flight, your deep understanding is a worthy treasure. Hold it, honour it, and whatever you do, trust it. There is nothing more important right now than remembering who you are and who you've always been, beyond this life, time and space. I remember being asked some time back, a lady said to me, "So how long have you been doing this work?" And I could feel Spirit's response. I felt it wash over me, almost as if they warmly smiled and then laughed, because it felt, as it washed over me, that it's a ridiculous notion to think that we have just done this work within this lifetime. It is the work that we have done for many lifetimes, which is why we are here, born into these times. As Spirit often say, we're not here to fear these times, we are here to shape them. We're born into them by intention. So there is nothing more important right now than remembering who you are and who you've always been, beyond this life, time and space, and also deeply remembering our connection to the land, to the earth, our home. You know, take a moment and think about it. The earth, she can go on without us, yet can we go on without her? And if we take a moment again and we think about it, there is a huge connection between the desiccation of the planet and our own bodies. People have never been sicker, physically, emotionally. Rampant disease, rampant obesity, people living in severe pain. The food that we're eating, toxic. The water we're drinking, poisoned. I think there is such a beautiful opportunity here to look at this and tap back into this wise craft that all indigenous cultures had, and weave it into the modern world, and to rewire our relationship to her and our well-being, both physically and emotionally, and greater still spiritually. After all, if we think about it again, all the elements live within us. The blood flowing through our veins, the water, our bones, the minerals, the earth, our deepest cleansing breath, the air, the spark and electricity driving our hearts, firing up the electrons, literally fire. We are tied to her. So the more we destroy her, the more sicker we become. So we have to ask ourselves, why is this happening? Why? Who's to gain from all of this? We drift away from her, yet we are woven into her. It feels and continues to feel really wholesome to honour these slow medicine stories dropped once a week here on a Sunday, Monday, and less continues to feel more off the merry-go-round. You know, especially as the space around us is and continues to be so saturated in quick fixes, fast, instead of slow, deep medicine. You know, it's wild and it's also sad. I think aligning into the soul of our service is where the deep medicine is. It's also where purpose lives, rooted, raw and real. So let's keep on offering our medicine, because it will outlive any of the fabricated junk. Let's hold our ground with fierce truth in our hearts. You know, for me, this last week, it's been a roller coaster of sorts, full of gifts, lessons and profound experiences. And at the heart of it, the importance of trusting fully in your instinct, trusting in your inner compass, even if everything else is saying different. It's actually why I do what I do, why I'm here right now sharing this. It's been a lifetime of conversing with the unseen. Yet when the stakes are really raised, when you're up against it, yet humble in heart, Spirit is there with grace, taking you by the hand and guiding you. Even if it's unseen or unknown, when you're feeling alone and feeling shipwrecked, they are there holding you in light, making it all transparent and seen, and often before time. And for me, it was a faint little whisper that happened some time back, that planted a seed that I needed to harvest this week. And that faint little whisper was when I come out of a sweat lodge in ceremony. And it was a whisper in regards to my physical health. In the most recent of weeks, that whisper has fully served me and guided me in ways I cannot begin to describe or tell. You know, some of you may know my story, yet in my early 20s I was diagnosed with a chronic illness, an autoimmune disorder, and around a decade ago I was told that I will be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. That was terrifying. But there was a part of me that went, no, and I'm not. The thing is, your body holds deep wisdom. Trust in it, nourish it, and importantly, listen to it. Listen to nature. Listen to yourself. We listen to everything else. We listen to the world around us, pulling us in 10 different directions, so much of which is in the outer world. We listen to our friends, our families, social media. So much input. And if you take all that stuff inward, then it becomes a really, really noisy place. There is no room, no space to discover who you are. You cannot hear your essence and your own inner compass within that noise, which is why for me less continues to be more. I don't want to add to that saturation. What I want to add is continued value. One of the greatest skills we can foster is deep listening. It is the absolute foundation of holistic mediumship. And deep listening, for me, I'm meeting those subtle whispers even more fully. Whatever that whisper is saying, there's a part of me that goes, okay, and I follow that. I'm going to explore that. And what does it say? Feel into it. Move towards it. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Move beyond thoughts. Move beyond thoughts and overthinking to feeling. So when you've got that decision in front of you, rather than what I think about it, what do I know about it? What do I feel about it? Deep gut feeling. And to be present in where you are, to show up vulnerable, you're no longer vulnerable. I am me. I am here fully. I am sitting with all of it. And that is radically beautiful. And also rare. And a breath of fresh air. Deep listening and soul whispers. Discerning what's what. Discerning what is the voice of conditioning and the should nots. The voice of your parents, your schooling, your upbringing. All those things that tell you you're not enough or you're not good enough. All that inner dialogue. All that stuff. And as a friend calls it, the voice of the witch hunter. Then you have the voice of truth, soul deep. And that is more of a knowing. The truth, the divine, the earth, the goddess. That has a very different feeling to it. But it can be a whisper. I remember, as I come out of that sweat lodge, crawled out of that sweat lodge, looked up at the sky, felt the sun on my face, feeling immense gratitude, receiving that bucket of cold water, and I felt the words, the whisper of, remember what you are capable of. Remember what you have done before. Voice, the voice of truth, the voice of the divine, the voice of the earth, the voice of the goddess. It's about what is the guidance. And for a moment, think about, we mentioned witches, think about the iconic witch's hat. So you think about that guidance, drawing it down, just kind of receiving it. You think about the iconic witch's hat, okay? A point funneling up. That hat was to funnel into the crown, receiving those divine whispers. It's profound. We continue to live in a crazy world. As I say, some of what is moving right now in the world around us, you can feel, I can feel another narrative beginning to kind of build into the picture. Some of what's happened in this last week in those spaces out in the world is really kind of showing the narrative of what is being kind of played into right now, and also is really surreal and uncanny. There is a lot moving, but a must watch if you haven't watched it around health and well-being. If you haven't watched it, a real opener to how deeply sickness is being monetized is a drama that is based on real accounts and truth called Dope Sick. Okay, it's a real opener to how deeply sickness is being monetized. To the people whose trail we follow, we thank you. And remember, money is a tool, freedom is the goal. Tread lightly, journey well, keep shining. As always, sending you all so much love.